What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Man with the Mic podcast. We're back here with another episode, your weekly recap every single Tuesday. A lot of stuff happening in the sports world. We'll get started right away, but before we begin things, if you want your team to win the championship this year, hit the subscribe button down below. Let's get started. We definitely have to begin with the MLB. The trade deadline is tonight, 6 p.m. A lot of stuff has already happened, and a lot of stuff is going to happen. Speaking on what we already know, Mets were able to get a good relief pitcher in Ryan Stanek. Obviously, didn't have a great debut versus the Braves. They also got a great left-handed bat in Jesse Winker, one of the biggest Mets villains in the last 5 years. Great to see that, he's been welcomed and that he is going to be a great bat for this team. They needed the left-handed bat, a guy who could play the outfield versus righties. Love to see it. Great pickup for this New York team, who was expected to make a lot more moves in the coming hours. Definitely looking for a rotation piece after that freak Kodai Senga injury. Prayers out to him. Really sucks to see it as a Mets fan. I mean, it really sucks considering, we've been waiting for him all year. He had a great debut through 5 innings, and then running off the mound strains the calf, likely done for the regular season. So it's really terrible to see. But the Mets have been able to get it done without him all season long. And if they want to, they could grab a guy tonight at the trade deadline, possibly fill his spot in the rotation. Could see a guy like I've heard Blake Snell thrown around, Jameson Taillon. So I guess we'll see what happens there. They put a beat down on the Twins yesterday, 15-2. Minnesota, what are you doing? 15-2. They had I don't even know what position he played, but he was a position player. Never heard of him in my life. Sorry, no disrespect to him and his family. Never heard of him in my life. He was pitching. Mets win 15-2. The other New York team, the Yankees, win 14-4 after getting Jazz Chisholm. Both him and Judge hit two bombs. I mean, Judge, we already expect him to hit 2 homers a game, maybe three. But Chisholm, nice to see his second game to be able to get 2 homers. Really promising. Don't know how that infield is going to work with him at third base. Never really seen him at third base myself, as, when the Mets ever played the Marlins, I always saw him in either the outfield or maybe second base or shortstop. But that's about it. So I guess we'll see how he fares at third base. Yankees also another team that's looking to make a lot more moves. We've seen the Mariners being active. They were able to get Randy Rosarina, as well as the Dodgers, who made a big 3-team deal yesterday. Brought in Michael Kopech, a promising pitcher who needs to work on his stuff, but he has the tangibles to be a really great pitcher in this league. Obviously, they also got Tommy Edman, a great bat, sent over to St. Louis. They got Eric Fetty from the White Sox and Tommy Pham. Don't really know what the White Sox got. It doesn't really matter. They have like 80 losses, so we'll move on. MLB trade deadline, like I said tonight, make sure you guys keep those notifications fresh. A lot of stuff going to be happening, so make sure you guys are aware of what's going on with your team and with other teams, because this MLB season is getting entertaining, and there's going to be a lot more teams that are going to be competing as we go down this season and get towards the postseason. So make sure y'all tune in for these weekly recaps where I'll be talking about that. And let's move on. NBA offseason, nothing's really been happening so far. But the one big thing that we've seen in the last week is my boy Tom Thibodeau. Give it a round of applause for Tibbs. You love to see it. A 3-year extension with the New York Knicks. As a Knicks fan, I've been watching since 2021, and Tibbs has been the head coach since 2021. So to see him take this team to 3 playoffs, 2 second-round runs, he's been great for this team defensively. I mean, he is the guy, personally to me. In my opinion, he is the guy in New York. So I really love to see it. Tibbs, my guy. Hope he stays in New York a lot longer. Is going to be able to lead this Knicks team with Mikal Bridges now, possibly to a championship, I think, in this 2024 season. And then they're still going to have many promising years to come. So love to see what Tibbs is doing here. Love to see what the Knicks are doing, bringing him back. That was the right decision all along. Finishing off with the NFL, training camp is getting underway. Not too much happening, but we've definitely seen some drama going around in San Francisco. Last week I mentioned that Brandon Ayuk would be expected to hold out. Instead, he flips it and holds in. He's decided that he wants to come to practice, likely just to avoid the fines. and he appears in street clothes. No pads, no jersey, just, any regular gym shorts and t-shirt, a little do-rag on, so I guess we'll see what happens there. We've seen him conversating with John Lynch, so maybe a contract could be near. Nothing really substantial at this point, but would really be promising to be able to get him back and have this San Francisco team whole. Another guy who's dealing with contract issues in San Francisco, Trent Williams. Nothing had been said really much about him having contract issues, but now he's holding out completely. He's not even at training camp, which is extremely worrying as he is really the glue and leader of this team. So they're going to need him specifically, obviously, on the offensive line that struggled last year in the Super Bowl, and they're going to need him to shore up that left side. I didn't really think he would have contract issues after I saw his contract about 2 years ago, 130 million. I was like, there's no way this guy could ever need any more money. But it's the NFL, so I guess he does. Speaking of money getting thrown around in the NFL, these quarterbacks are making an unbelievable amount of money. Some deserve it and just some don't. Like Jordan Love. Jordan Love was promising last year. I won't lie to you. He was good. But he wasn't $53 million worth. He just wasn't. Neither was Tua. Tua's been great. But he's still Tua. He's not worth $53 million. Two guys get $200 million contracts in the last, week? What is Brock Purdy gonna get? Brock Purdy's better than both those guys 100%. If you don't agree with that, you are not open-minded to watch Brock Purdy and what he's done with the San Francisco team the last 2 years. What is he gonna make? 60? He's eligible for a contract extension next year. He's going to get 60 million. Is that what it's looking like? You see Trevor Lawrence getting 55. Brock Purdy's better than Trevor Lawrence. Trust me, Brock Purdy is better than Trevor Lawrence. So he's going to get 60 million. The Niners are going to have to throw around the $1 billion. They don't have $1 billion. The contract situations in the NFL are really getting out of hand. You're seeing a lot of guys get overpaid. Not saying that these guys are not, good players. I just don't think they're worthy of that high of a pay figure. Good Lord. 55 million for Trevor Lawrence, 53 for Jordan Love and Tua. Come on, man. Come on. Brock Purdy might just break the bank. Well, guys, that's the end of this Mouth the Mike weekly recap. Just wanted to get you guys in your little news. Obviously, like I said, every Tuesday, every Friday, Tuesday the weekly recap, Friday the guest. Gonna have a really good episode planned out for this Friday, so make sure you're gonna tune in. Super entertaining, very informative. You love to see it. And like I said, if you want your team to get the championship, my apologies, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. Little shout out for UFC, not something I really talk about, but Bilal Muhammad, a Palestinian fighter, put on an absolute show this past Saturday in the UFC 304. So show some love to my boy Bilal. As a Palestinian myself, it was great to see him show out, support my country out there in the octagon. Love to see it. He put on an absolute show versus Leon Edwards. So UFC is something you guys could see me talking about a little bit more as I've become more and more entertained by these fights. So make sure to tune in. This is Mal with the mic, your weekly recap. Have a great day, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.